Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonso. Today I will be your guide for this special edition as we take a look at the ancient tribes of Corsica and Sardinia. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday with special editions on Thursdays. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. Moving right along. Mythology tells us one thing, while archaeology tells us another. Who were the indigenous people of Sardinia and Corsica? Were they Italic? What happened to these people? Today we will answer these questions as we take a look at these remarkable people. Before the Roman conquest in the 3rd century before the Common Era, the islands of Corsica and Sardinia were inhabited by three main peoples or ethnic groups. These were the Corsi, the Bellaris, and the Ilionenses, and each group was divided into several tribes. With the Roman conquest, the province of Sardinia and Corsica was created. This was the second province created by the Roman Republic after Sicily. The ethnic and linguistic affiliation of the Nuragic people remains to be further studied. Current studies indicate that they may have been related to the Iberians and the ancient Basque. These peoples were pre-Indo-European and spoke Proto-Basque and Iberian. There is also the possibility that the Nuragic peoples may have been related to the Etruscans and other Ticinian peoples and languages. One of the sea peoples, the Shardana or the Shurden, may have been a population hailing from Sardinia. They may have also been a group of tribes that migrated to the island in the late Bronze Age. If the Corsi dwelling in Corsica and the northernmost tip of Sardinia, which was known as Gallura, were a subset of the Ligurians and a group of tribes related to the Celts, then they would have had a different ethnic and linguistic affiliation from the majority of tribes on Sardinia. The ancient Sardinians and the Corsican tribes were definitely the ancestors of the present-day people who inhabit the two islands, and their languages are clearly related to their ancient forebear. Now let's take a look at the Nuragic culture that also inhabited Sardinia. The civilization lasted from the 18th century before the Common Era, which is the Bronze Age, up to the Roman colonization of 238 before the Common Era. Where then does the name Nuragic come from? It is neither an autonym or an ethnonym. The name actually derives from the island's most characteristic monument, the Nuraghi. This is a type of tower fortress construction which the Sardinians built in large numbers throughout the island. To date, there are more than 7,000 nuraghs that dot the landscape. Unfortunately, no records of this civilization have been discovered. The only written information comes from the classical literature of the Greeks and the Romans, and may be considered more mythical than historical. It is generally believed that their religion had a strong role in their society, which has led scholars to believe in the hypotheses that the Nuragic civilization was a theocracy. Certain animals such as deer, bull, and dove were considered to be holy. They also appear to play a dominant role in the mythology believed by the people. Another key element to Nuragic culture was fertility rites. It is also interesting to point out that temples on the island were dedicated to the cult of healthy waters. Some bronze statues clearly portray the figures of chief kings. These are recognizable by their wearing a cloak and carrying a staff. Other classes are also depicted as miners, artisans, musicians, and wrestlers, with the latter similar to those of the Minoan civilization. Warrior statues have also been unearthed, leading to the opinion that the Nuragic people may have been a warlike society with precise military divisions such as archers and infantrymen. Some of the small bronzes also give clues to the personal care and fashion of the Nuragic. Women had long hair, and men sported 2 long braids on each side of their face. Men also wore the hair on their head closely cropped and covered by a leather cap. Nuragic civilization was most likely based on clans, each led by a chief who lived in the complex Nuraghe, with the common people living in nearby villages of stone roadhouses. Lastly, archaeologists have discovered giants' graves. In actuality, they were collective funerary structures whose precise functions are still unknown. However, they were shaped as the head of a bull. Though very little is actually known about the tribal groups of both Corsica and Sardinia, we can easily conclude that these were a very interesting people. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Traveler's Tales. If you enjoyed this video, please consider joining our channel by becoming a sponsor. Your support will enable us to continue putting out quality videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Traveler's Tales. This really is the best way to help our channel grow. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Cartistos.